Why has America never shown Osama bin Laden's face after his death? There's a photo that, if it ever got out, could spark riots in cities all over the world, and that's why the U.S. has been hiding it for 15 years. Osama bin Laden was killed in May 2011. The United States conducted an operation to take him down. Even now, 15 years later in May 2026, no real photo of his dead body has ever been seen by the public. Just think, Osama bin Laden, the world's most dangerous man, is dead, but the proof of his death has been kept hidden all this time. The real question isn't why the U.S. hasn't shown it, it's, if they had shown the body, what would have broken? Osama bin Laden, the 17th child out of 54 siblings, was actually the son of a billionaire religious father from Saudi Arabia. Still, the USA didn't let anyone get their hands on his body and buried it thousands of feet underwater, far away from any humans. There were three main reasons for dumping Osama bin Laden's body in the sea. First, Osama was banned in his own homeland, Saudi Arabia, and there was no place for his dead body there. Well, now the question is, Osama was a famous Saudi. Osama was born into an influential business family, right? So why was he banned in the end? Well, Osama's family was so rich that when the Saudi king's treasury started running low, the bin Laden family literally paid the salaries of many government officers out of their own pockets for 6 months. But it wasn't just about money. This family was also very religious, including Osama himself. Every year when Muslims from all over the world came to Saudi for Hajj, Osama's father personally hosted big Islamic scholars. That's how Osama was also connected with all of them. He used to meet them often and build relationships. But the same question comes up again. Why was Osama banned despite being so religious? Well, that's because Osama got caught up in extremism. So Osama's mom says he became an extremist Muslim because of reasons tied to his college. Osama was studying public administration at Jeddah University when he met some members of an activist group called the Muslim Brotherhood. Osama's mom believes it was because of them. People got together and brainwashed their son, radicalizing him forever in the name of Muslim supremacy. And coincidentally, during this phase, the USSR invaded Afghanistan, which is a Muslim country. From then on, Osama's extremism deepened. He started making secret trips to Afghanistan regularly to help out, using his old connections to build new ties with extremist groups operating there. After that, Osama, with the help of these extremists, he even started recruiting volunteers from his own country, Saudi Arabia. He was recruiting them to send to the ongoing war in Afghanistan. But he didn't train these volunteers himself. Instead, he outsourced the training to other organizations. So Osama then shifted his focus to collecting funds, which was pretty easy for him considering his family background. And before long, in 1984, he set up a base in Peshawar, where he began directly training volunteers. A database of all the volunteers started to be created from here. Basically, the whole thing began to work like a proper system, like a proper organization, and that's how Al-Qaeda got started. Meanwhile, in the Middle East, Iraq's new leader, Saddam Hussein, began expanding into some of the Gulf's oil-rich nations. After Kuwait, Saddam's next target was Saudi Arabia. So, to protect Arabia, especially Mecca and Medina, Osama wrote a letter to the Saudi king and asked for permission to send his volunteers to fight against Iraq. Osama was in the process of mobilizing his men when suddenly news came that Saudi Arabia had called the Americans for help. This was the starting point of Osama versus America. But hold on, let's rewind a bit and look at Osama's life. What was his journey like? How did he go from being a super intelligent engineer to a terrorist? Well, friends, Osama bin Laden's story is pretty interesting in itself. Osama was completely against American help because he didn't want any kind of Western influence coming into Saudi Arabia. The country was built solely on pure Islamic principles. That's why the USA ended up on Osama's radar. He used his connections and issued a fatwa saying everyone should go to Afghanistan for training because fighting your enemies is a religious duty for Muslims. This religious angle worked perfectly, and as soon as the fatwa was out, over 4,000 people left Saudi Arabia and headed to Afghanistan. Of course, Saudi Arabia didn't like this one bit, so they went after Osama. They put a travel ban on him. But Osama was pretty clever. He found a way to go to Pakistan under the pretext of a business meeting. After that, he went to Afghanistan and never looked back at Saudi Arabia. Still, Saudi tried multiple times to kill Osama. In fact, according to some reports, the U.S. even offered Osama's body to Saudi Arabia